Now, beyond modern learning environments, this project could spark opportunities in construction, renewable energy technology, and teacher training. On the Business Morning today, we ask, how does this education reform also serve as a pathway for economic opportunity, and what ripple effects could it have for the state's future? To help us unpack this is Mr. Emmanuel Chime, a public affairs analyst. You're welcome on the program, Mr. Emmanuel.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing today?
Very cool.
So good to have you here.
Thank you.
So Enugu began its transition to smart green schools yesterday. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, that's very beautiful. We feel so excited in as much as it's going to be maintained. We feel so excited about it because the truth is that the world is currently running knowledge-based economy. So it is no longer the time for rhetorics. You tell all the same story they told our great-grandfathers. Come and draw some crickets on the board, and you ask us to draw and label them. And after leaving the walls of the school, only but to face the reality of the society and discovering that there is no place where you draw and make money. You don't draw cricket on the street. You don't go to malls, shopping malls to go and draw cricket, and you use it to buy something there. So the knowledge is simply but a waste. And so going for practical knowledge, what the governor rightly interpreted or rightly termed as experiential knowledge, that's the best of it now in the whole world. Exactly. And perhaps if you go to China, what makes China what China is today is entrepreneurs, is small businesses coming forward by the reason of what the people can think, by the reason of what the people can actually, the skills of the people, how they can actually put it to place and bring forward real objects, real results to place. Of course, you cannot merchandise what you don't have. It's when you have a skill, you can actually exchange it with, some values.
So when you hear smart schools, Mr. Chime, what does this initiative mean to you in terms of educational reform and also economic development?
Yeah, simply translating to, the area of the present day economy, the present day world, where the world is today. When you talk about digitization of the world, all right? Because probably now what we have been having is where you go to the school, you are being faced with blackboard and white chalk, and perhaps seated and listening to stories, stories, old stories that was told to your great-grandfathers, whom, the story did not actually take them to anywhere. In fact, the only thing that our usual school, prior to the smart school being introduced, what it has succeeded in producing are job seekers and not job creators. And so when you're talking about smart school, you're talking about when, a setting where you produce job producers, job creators, all right? People that are coming out with skills, merchantable skills. I mean, global skills. And not people that will just come out only but to speak grammar. In most occasions, could not even speak the grammar, but just come out with certificates. But the certificate could not earn you anything. All right. And so when you're talking about smart school, we're talking about, I believe that what the governor rightly bear in mind is to have a school whereby a child goes into and comes out better, comes out skilled, and not just skilled, but with skill that is internationally driven, internationally recognized. Because today, just like the other day, I was telling one of my friends, I told him I have a video right in my phone. And so that video you will see, like there are people who go to learn how to play air. And so after learning that for a long time, you believe that you're not equipped. But the truth is that you're out of the business. In fact, before you even think of going into it, you're already out of the business. Because there is a machine, a hand machine, that you will use that which would have taken you like 2 hours trying to fix a person's hair to make money out of that. Then a machine will just get that done. Within 5 minutes, that machine is done. Any style you want. Hand machine, not even heavy machine, hand machine. You just use it. Any style you want, it will get it done. And so when you're talking about digital school, talking about smart school, you're talking about a school that is introducing our children, our youths into, digitized world. Today, we're no longer talking about computer age. If you are still talking about computer age, then you are backward. Computer is fast phasing off. What we are now faced with is AI. Yeah, what we are now being faced with is now artificial intelligence age. And so in the school, what we're expecting to see is that our people will go in there, our children will go in there, our youths will go in there, get equipped with these basic skills that if they come out, the international community will be looking for them. They may not want to even leave the country, pull over to wherever country, but we want to be here and still do the job, deliver, make their money. All right? And so for goodness sake, this is exactly where the world is going to now.
Like you rightly said, the schools are going to, equip the children with skills, not just skills in different fields, digital skills. How do you see this impacting the economy
that's
of
what
the state and, also local businesses in the state?
That's what we're talking about. That when these guys goes in there, one, they are going to come out job creators. No longer going to be part of those that comes out only but to start looking for jobs. They are now being equipped to create jobs by themselves because they have the skills now. All right, smart skills. And so the let's say blue chip companies will be looking for them as well to partner with them, to do business, to hire them, to access the services. They're going to damn charge you high and they're going to pay. And by the time you pay, the money is going to come down to Enugu, you know that. And so you see that the economy of Enugu is now growing. And so after that, what it's going to do again is that we are now going to be taxing those that are equipped, those that we are going to be tasking an economy where the money flows, not tasking an economy where the money have not been invested into. An economy that is salary based. It doesn't flow, it doesn't produce anything. The people will rather continue to complain. And that is exactly what is happening currently in Enugu. But if we are able to do this and do it very well, not telling ourselves lies, like for instance, the governor have just commissioned, and perhaps a lot of them is not yet up to life. I mean, a lot of these smart schools are not yet up to life. And so in that order, if we are being able to put frantic efforts in place, expeditiously to bring all the schools in the entire 260 wards and perhaps location areas, bring all of them to life and they begin to function, then I will tell you, let's give our people between now and the next 5 years, we're going to have a whole lot.
Yeah, Mr. Chime, now behind the vision, let's talk about the resources behind it. Transforming schools or building smart green schools, as the governor calls it, is a huge investment. It requires huge investment. Do you think Enugu State can sustain this financially with what you're saying now?
The truth is that you should know, we had a governor that was in Enugu before now, right? That was Ugwai, right? That handed over to him. If you calculate side by side Ugwai's performance and what the present governor is doing now, you would have not ever had such thought that there is a possibility of having such innovation in Enugu at all. You would have think that Enugu would have never in its entire existence think about creating something called smart schools, creating something called ICC being built, the ICC mall, the ICC hotel, the Enugu presidential hotel being all fixed and brought to life. All right, you wouldn't have ever imagined that such would have been happening. And so it takes someone who thinks beyond the box to actually create such idea and bring it to reality. And of course, that idea is currently steaming. It's currently producing. So if we have that and we have what we call continuity, even if the governor leaves office and the person that is coming, the truth is that what we need today in our society is not politicians. We need leaders currently. We need leaders, not people who are just so politically correct and accurate. No, we need leaders now who will think about the people and give the people something to take on with. Yeah.
So yeah, Mr. Chime, what challenges do you foresee this having? Some smart schools resumed yesterday. We heard of the one in Owo and Kano, and GTC is ready. But we've not gotten any updates from that. What challenges do you foresee this having? And the governor also said some will be resuming next week and others would follow.
Well, one of the challenges I want to bring it to the governor today is this. First, let there be a team, forensic team, independent forensic team that are going to visit all these schools, these structures first, to check, investigate, and ascertain the integrity of the buildings. Prior to now, we have had lots of videos flying around, evidences on ground.
Yes, we saw that the governor brought down some schools.
That's what I'm talking about, including the ones that are already plastered, painted, and perhaps soon students will job their pupils will enter into it to go and study. Let them be checked and cross-checked. It's going to mean a very big horror if tomorrow we begin to hear that a particular so and so happened. It's going to be so tragic. So that is going to be one of the challenges we're having now. Then again, the next challenge is, how secure are the equipment? How secure are the equipment? Do you know what? Hardship, hunger, starvation, poverty creates monsters in a society. It creates criminals in a society. Go and check the history of Osikanko. Go and take the history of Osikanko from Abia State. He was a notorious criminal then. Go and take the history of the then Rambo Shina, right? Go and take the history of these guys, notorious criminals. Go and check what actually prompted them into becoming the monster that they became, that troubled the entire society. Today in Enugu, people are complaining, people are crying, people are groaning about a whole lot of taxes. The governor might claim that there are no new taxes being introduced.
Yeah, he said so. He said he expanded the tax.
He expanded. How did you expand? Now they're expanding to those who are not even eligible to pay tax. For goodness sake, the economy of Nigeria today is a kind of economy whereby you give even those that have been paying taxes tax holiday. I'm talking of those that have been paying. You give them tax holiday. Then there are some businesses that are newly getting established. You did not tax them. For goodness sake, as at yesterday, some group of landlords are lamenting over building levies of, up to the tune of 5 million naira. Do you know what it's going to mean? They are going to simply spread it down to those that are occupying their properties. And you're going to add up to, the cost of living in Enugu. Then what are we going to produce doing that? We're going to produce those that are so restive. We do not even have the jobs in Enugu. And so we're going to produce those who are now so desperate to see a way of survival. And if they see those equipments in the smart green schools as being so vulnerable for them to be able to really handle, then you discover that we begin to have what we call vandalism. So what is in place in the area of securing these properties? These are the questions we have, because it's going to mean a challenge for our public patrimony being invested in these smart schools to, all of a sudden be swept under the carpet. And to go and recover them is going to mean a big deal. We know the one that we are still battling with between the government today and Sujimoto, how they released money up to the tune of 6 billion naira, and Sujimoto telling stories on how he could not do this, that, and these are stories. And in Nigeria today, before you know what is happening, EFCC may grant him, pay 500 billion naira bail, and that's all. And 6 billion naira that belong to Enugu people will die. And so we want to ask, what is the governor doing in the area of protection of those equipments, modern equipments? Then again, what is the governor doing to avoid that we'll have our pupils that are going to be, studying in those schools, concentrated areas, being kidnapped? We want to be pointing out these areas because there are some deadly-minded kidnappers, deadly-minded criminals in the society who might see these guys as, soft targets, that if we toss them, the government will give attention and the government will pay. So what are we putting in place to ensure that we secure their lives and the lives and the properties that we're making use of, the equipment we're making use of to teach them? Then again, what are we doing to bring down the tune of taxes? It is much. The president rightly told us that since removal of fuel subsidy, that each state now received more than 3 times what they have been receiving. So why then are we taxing our people that much again? Why? For goodness sake, this is not the first time we are seeing transformation in Enugu. We saw one during under the regime of Sullivan Chime. Sullivan led Enugu and gave us signature infrastructures, gave us what is called leadership, and nobody was feeling pains in Enugu as at then. And so must we pass through hell for us to make heaven? It shouldn't be. So want the governor to look at these areas. The various parents whose children will be going to the schools should be able to have smile on their faces, feed their children, pay their fees, and do whatever is needed.
But from the report we saw, I think parents are very happy about this.
Parents are very happy. Meanwhile, remember, this is politics. We are out there on the street. Before you grant certain interviews, you are being sieved. We are being selected to give some kind of words that goes viral for the government.
Our correspondent went out. Chief correspondent went out.
We know.
So are you saying that they paid them to come say the same thing?
Listen again. The question we want to ask is, when did the smart school started? That these persons are already giving testimonies as if this is been running for over 3 years or thereabouts. When did they started? It's still under construction, for goodness sake. So those kind of statements, remember, there are psychophants in the places. I hope you know. So for someone to be giving us testimonies on the area of, okay, they will take my children to the school, they will bring them back. When did it open? The other day they closed the school, and why the closure of the school, my children or my child was able to come out with a flying color. When? In which school? Was the person actually referring to the smart green school that is just starting, or referring to the old other school? So for goodness sake, we should know the one we are talking about, the one we should believe in the society.
So, Mr. Chime, what people are very worried about, is, what happens when the administration change, when the Peter Mbah's administration is over. So, what policy safeguards can ensure continuity so these schools do not become another unfinished government project? Okay, the truth is that if we want to make it work and work very well, we can always tie it to ministry. And make it, let it have a legal backing. Tie it to ministry. There is going to be something that the ministry is running, not an initiative of a politician, because most of the time, politicians, they tend to bring an innovation, and that particular innovation, they want it to be, in their names. And the next thing you see another person come to the front burner, and we always want to have his or her own, idea, come to light, even if it's not going to work for the people. Just like when Ugwai came, he rightly went to Holy Ghost area, that is Oboete, and brought forward that pedestrian bridge, which even mad people do not climb it. But he brought it, he built it, and it is of no use to the society. But he just wanted it to be there so that everybody, you feel, if you are talking, you will say, why build this? But it is of no use. And so when this is there, that's why that was yet on this particular television. I rightly talked some time back. I said, on a normal note, we're supposed to have a bill, right from national level, a bill that's going to promote, to have a particular commission that is managing our master developmental plan. And so whatever vision you have as a politician, if you come, you will align with the content of that particular master plans. And so you don't come in with whatever strange thoughts that may not even benefit the society. And so when you come, you are being given the chance. You go through it. You are being guided. So you don't just come from nowhere and begin to do whatsoever. You are being guided. And there will be a chain of monitors that are going to monitor the integrity of whatever project that you're bringing to place. Not the kind of one that you are building and it is collapsing. For instance, if you go to Enugu International Conference Center today, the road, it was being commissioned, that was about 5 to 6 months ago now. The roads within that particular complex is already dilapidating. It's already decaying. And so what it means is that the integrity is not in place. It's questionable. So it needed that before you say, okay, I'm done with this, then it should be checked. What was the gauge with which you asphalted that route in the first place? And so these are the things that we need to do so that in our society we don't tell stories or have issues of, okay, that this person built so and so, and it could not continue because nobody were able to maintain
the infrastructure when the person took over.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chime, for joining us on the program today.
Thank you, Marvelous.
And that's the much we can take on the STEM Business Reports today. Until I see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. for another edition of the Afia Business Morning, I am Marvelous Apuamaga. Many thanks for staying with us. Bye for now.